Hello and welcome to episode 15 of our Timberborn 1.0 experimental ant farm playthrough with the Iron Teeth faction here. Cycle 17, Day 2. And I've said it for the past several episodes now, so I probably don't need to say it again, but I think we're in a really good spot with an opportunity to do some pretty transformative stuff in today's episode. So let's get right into it. We are in the temperate cycle, of course, so we're going to focus, at least for a little bit, on pumping water, filling up our reservoir, and our storage tanks as much as we can. We do have two, I didn't mean to pause there. We do have two large tanks down here. One is finished. One is in the process of being finished. Needs more metal. So these guys are chugging along as best as they can. That may not be finished until the very end of this temperate cycle, but it will be finished. We've also, actually, we've got 200 beavers. I don't remember if I built a second, no, I have 3 medical beds, so we're good there. And outside of that, we've got a healthy amount of wood, at least available to cut, not necessarily already cut down. But we'll worry about cutting that stuff later because we currently have a deficit of about 10 beavers. Even though some of the jobs that are appearing in this deficit aren't really a problem. Like for right now, we have 4 of the 10 are just builder jobs that are slush overflow. And I guess the other 6 of the 10 are from the hauling posts, so, you know, it's probably not great to only have 4 haulers with all the stuff we have going on, but it's going to work okay for our purposes. Since we talked about haulers, I am going to prioritize the hydroponic garden that's doing the mushrooms, just so that's a little bit easier to get going, because even though it really doesn't demand very much, the water's already there, it can't start making new mushrooms until it's emptied out. And this guy can't carry 45 mushrooms at once, so that's just going to help it tiny bit to get things taken care of. In terms of these mangroves here, I did last episode, I believe, yes, it hasn't been built yet, but I did put a gatherer flag in. We probably don't need this long term, which is why it's set to minimum priority. But it is going to be nice to have, you know, a few extra mangrove fruits here and there, in addition to the ones that we have down here in the very bottom of the map, which of course some of them will be growing back depending on if we have bad tides or not. So, you know, they're working on it. They're doing what they can. We have plenty of other things to take care of, including fixing some storage issues and all of that jazz. But I did want to take a moment to acknowledge all the comments, all the ideas for the hotkey remapping. A lot of really good, insightful things, some really funny suggestions, but I think what's going to have to happen here is I'm going to change this, if I can figure out which one this is, unique building action. Instead of 6, why don't we do G? Ah, that's another thing I've ignored. Never mind. So disregard. I was going to say we can do G for Gotta Blast, but nope. There's another thing, part of the game that I never ever use that is in the way, so I guess we can't do that. Well, that was embarrassing, but you know I never cut anything out of these, so you can just laugh at my idiocy there. Other things to address based on your comments. We do finally have science income, so I think it's going to be to our advantage to start moving toward using the large row house and the regular row house because, well, it's verticality. We can transmit power between levels depending on how we organize things. And it's going to be a little easier to squeeze those in versus, you know, trying to cram in even just a 2x3 building can be kind of hard with this map. So we'll let that be what it's going to be and just move on in due time. We've got 1,200 fermented cassava. We do have corn rations, but I don't have extra beavers to stick in there at this time. So we'll continue doing what we're doing and just make sure that we accrue as much water as we can. Yeah, about halfway through there, so we'll get that on triple speed. And I guess while we're waiting on that, it's worth checking out what our maximum height is because I received a very good comment saying that, you know what, maybe you can put in a large reservoir above the map once you have all of your overhangs and all that stuff figured out. And, you know, this isn't really that tall of a map, but I don't know what the height of the skybox is that it's going to let me do. So this is 9, that's 12, that's 15, that is 18. Okay, so it's not going to let me go to 21. it is going to let me go to 20. So, you know, that is the theoretical maximum height we can build basically anywhere on this map. And, folks, that is a tremendously large reservoir. If we were to build it basically above the entire thing, which, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think I have the patience to do, at least not in a video. But, you know, that's that's a lot of water. So much so that it might not even be possible to fill that volume. I remember in the Project 1K playthrough, which, yes, that is still coming. It's just going to take me another 30, 40 hours to finish everything for it. It's a whole process. It's proven to be an absolute albatross. But that has taught us that the diorama map can theoretically fill something about the size of what I just described in about 8 days, if you aren't pumping it, and so on and so forth. Remember, this map is, I don't know exactly in terms of like a size comparison, but I think this is about 50 long. I really should know, but I don't. Let's see how far. I know I can't build this yet, but yeah, if that's 6, yeah, it should be about, it's either 50 or 60-ish long, and then well, I can see that's 4, that's 8, that is 12, 16. Okay, it's probably 64 by 16 if I had to guess. I know it's on the page in the mod list, but I don't have that open right now. So anyway, point being, maybe if we have 5 sources, which we do, compared to the relatively smaller amount on the diorama map, we're probably going to be able to fill up something about that size. Uh-oh, short temperate cycle alert. I say on day 5, which really means it's not that short, it's 7 days. But we're going to have a bad tide, which is good news for our industrial stuff. Bad news for all these crops that are going to die here because they don't have tunnels yet. So I can't really, you know, take care of getting this clean. But this area down here on our middle level is going to be totally fine, at least for this bit. This over here is going to be polluted. But I can't really do anything about that unless I blasted holes, and I don't really feel like doing that now. Okay, so I see 5790 as the capacity, which means this has been finished. So that's good. We'll let them continue pumping. I don't expect them to fill this up. And they probably won't for a long time until we do something about all of our pumping and move it somewhere else. So, since we're going to have a bad tide, that means we can do some more industrial stuff. I think it would be a good idea, he says 8 minutes into the video, to try and advance technology a little bit more, get a centrifuge built, and start the process of doing some terraforming, among other things. Because remember, the centrifuge gives us extract, which allows us to do the double and triple dynamites, and most importantly, tunnels, which can help solve some of these issues over here. And, of course, the dirt excavator no longer consumes product. It used to a couple different recipes and various previous builds of the game. But we can basically get free dirt if we can power it. But placing this is not necessarily going to be straightforward. There have been a couple good suggestions about where I can put one. But they're going to involve moving some things around. And I think, honestly, in this general area is probably going to be the easiest. Except there's vertical clearance concerns. So, I mean, I'd have to reconfigure this entire area, and I don't think for doing this in a video that's going to make sense, because I'm not going to be able to figure it out, and it's going to make a really terrible video. So I'll probably not do that. But we have 1 day. I'll put it somewhere else. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I can't in real time figure out how to do this and still have it be watchable without people getting really mad. So I do need to monitor the floodgate outputs. This does automatically get taken care of, as does this. I'm glad I didn't waste any time replanting trees, because these are super dead just as soon as that happens. I've got 4,700. And it's cycle 17, and it's another bad tide. And we've had a lot of those, so it's possible we could be up to about 20 days duration here. And I do not want that to become a problem until it absolutely has to be. This floodgate here does not need to be lowered. Somebody left a comment saying I haven't done anything with this. That's by design. Remember, this is not to actually protect anything except the water that's in here from going out of the sluice that's always open. That's why that's that way. But I've got down here. Yeah, you know what? We're close enough. I'm just going to let this get to maybe right about here. Then we'll hit pause. We'll fix all the floodgates, and then we should be okay. All right. So let's raise that up. Raise that up. I don't have any other floodgates in here to take care of because this is a sluice that probably is going to change at some point. That's good. That is now full, which means I can close this and this. There might be a little bit of flooding, but it won't last super long because this is about to take care of itself. So that is all a-okay. Now, because this is at 0.7, of course, it's a little bit lower. 26 day bad tide. So very glad we have 4,700 waters. We're going to need it, folks. Let's immediately stop pumping in these so this doesn't dry out. We may need to splash this at some point. I'm also going to just probably pause all of the pumps because, one, it's 26 days, and two, we already have tons of water. We probably are not going to get through this entire bad tide in this episode, just so you're not holding out hope for that being a thing. So that leaves us with a deficit of 2 beavers. I've got all of the power I previously had for industry purposes, which is good. Food is looking nice, but I am now in a position where I can turn on the food factory to make it even more nice, turn on this fermenter to ferment some mushrooms, and that's going to bring us to, yeah, we still have another 400-ish. And I don't see any gears, so in my mind's eye, that means it's time to turn on the gear workshops, even if they are kind of far away. That gets us up to 1755. I've got some lumber mills I could be working with, but that's probably fine. Remember that our deficit of 6 beavers isn't really a thing because we're kind of smurfing it with the builder's hut and the hauling post, which now has 9. And that's good because we want them to be able to do that. So, I don't think I have any more pumping going on. This has been mostly okay. This will become contaminated shortly as this wears itself out. I'm actually kind of surprised it hasn't already. So I don't know if I magically did something. Okay, there it goes. I knew it was too good to be true. Same kind of deal over here. We've got down here. Wait a minute. Oh, it's this. Okay. I should have anticipated that because this has solved a problem. So can't save these. But knowing that this is the way that it is, I can save this from happening again by just replacing here. But some of these trees will have to die. It is not a sacrifice I am willing to make, but it is one that I am being forced to. Oh, I forgot that was instant now. Oh, that's such a better change. I know that was in patch notes like 3 or 4 small updates ago. So let's... I mean, it's not like we can really do much of anything else unless this keeps spreading. I will prioritize this just because, well, why not? What else am I going to do? But they can't get to that until tomorrow anyway. Slowly see this coming up. 2000 science is going to keep accruing because we have the number cruncher going, of course. I don't think we really need to be super worried about it. I don't think this is going to spread any more than it already has. But, you know, it's worth just taking care of this while it's on our mind, collectively. This may be a very good candidate for early tunneling to preserve the support structure, but not the irrigation, because we have this taken care of from down here. Alright, so they're working on that. I do have enough treated planks to do this. And I'm pretty sure this takes, yeah, oh, this takes 100 treated planks. That's another reason why I hadn't really gotten into it. Hey, you can see this is already making a nice, nice change there. And just as soon as this is finished, we'll see this slowly crumble away. I'll take that irrigation barrier away because we no longer need to care about that. And then down here, this is totally fine. Yeah, no problems there. This has managed to keep a couple of these trees alive, which is great. Again, this is going to be a focus for tunneling at some point soon. So, folks, need to find a place to put a centrifuge. I guess I could just leave this on triple speed. We're not hurting anything. I do need to have the bad water pump operating again so that we can use all that. Where am I going to put a centrifuge? I think we kind of talked about this to a certain extent last episode because I don't have a lot of great spots. This area over here would be a decent location for it, but I would have to rebuild this with the help of some explosives, so that would be viable. Let's see, down here, without getting this out of the way. Oh, I remember what I was... Oh, hello. Problems. I forgot to do those. I remember what I was going to do. Somebody left a comment that said I would really, really do well for myself to have this scrap metal over here taken care of. Which I was originally doing, but I removed the scavenger flag because, well, I needed scrap metal removed somewhere else. But if I had them pull from here, I'd get this one, and this one removed first, which would open up, at least during temperate seasons, open up a couple more squares for growing. And eventually, when I get everything, you know, cleared out, taken care of, this would make this substantially more attractive for the purpose of farming. And we know we have to have the scrap metal anyway, so might as well let them do it. This is minimum priority, so that's fine. We can just leave that there. This is being fixed. That's being fixed. Someone else also left a comment saying that I should level this plateau, and I agree, however, comma, it doesn't have stuff under it absolutely everywhere, so we're going to be kind of limited to the amount of modification we can do without being able to support it from beneath. So, as much as I do like the idea, I think for right now it's probably not a very realistic thing for us to pursue. It may be worth instead trying to raise the level of other land around it. But for now, I think we're just going to leave it alone, see what else we can accomplish, and move on from there. Now, we have this area up here that is super polluted. Not going to be that easy to prevent the spread of all the poison without having everything taken out. So I think for now this is probably okay. Knowing that down here this is looking okay and we're not building anything on top of this anyway. We're not growing anything except for right there. Long term, the biggest concern I had was that this is clean, and once I have this taken out, this will help a lot with putting irrigation barriers in there. But as long as this connects down here, we're still going to have problems because it's going to transfer from over here. So we have a couple options for that, and one of them, because this is still irrigated down here, is the only reason I would do this, would be to replace all of this with tunnels that would support structurally but not allow any irrigation transmission. But considering how little land is actually polluted with this setup, I don't think it's a huge priority. We probably don't need to worry about it. Okay, this is not going to be looking good. And we have tons and tons and tons of water. So if this does dry out, I do think it would be worth putting in a fluid dump. In fact, you know, these are so cheap to build. Might as well, for the benefit of the beavers, just stick a fluid dump in here. Refill this. Even, you know, 4,400 water and 38 beavers in 23 days. We're fine. We're totally okay. So I'm willing to throw some of it in the hole, so to speak, so we can have this taken care of. But that still does not solve our problem of where do we put the centrifuge. And I think for this to really be possible, we're going to have to either rebuild all of this, which I really don't want to try to figure out during a video, or I'm going to have to come over here and figure out a way to make that happen, which is going to be substantially easier if I can take this triple platform and demolish it, blast this one piece of terrain down, which I need to confirm is not... okay, that actually makes that a lot more difficult because there's nothing underneath it. Okay, well that's annoying. New plan. Get somebody in here, which probably because I put the stairs right there and I've got all this stuff. I can't hear myself think. Got that blasting there. If I could remove these runes, it would probably be a little bit easier, but there's nothing going on here because this doesn't have any water going into it. Platforms are probably going to be a little cheaper to build. I want to see if this is going to be accessible. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Barely. Barely. But if I can do that, I can put that there. I'm going to go ahead and unlock this. Yeah, that'll fit. And what I will end up doing, coming in here, I'm going to have to get this connected somehow. If I can... Oh, you know what? I could actually put a staircase through here, but I've got this medium tank in the way. Can't move that because there's no land there, and I don't have dirt yet. Anyway, long story short, yes, I'm just going to demolish the birch. I don't need to wait for someone to come cut it down. Also, they couldn't reach it. They may or may not be able to actually get to this without me doing some nonsense over here to get this, specifically this bit of ruins taken out. But what's going to end up happening is... I know they can build this from above. That is not going to be an issue. The issue is getting into here to take that out, which I cannot do... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How did I just... I forgot about the spiral stairs. Oh, that's bad. I should not be laughing like this, but I'm going to put the spiral stairs in place so that they can take the birch out, and then I will remove this immediately so that I can path over it and then have the stairs come down here instead. And that might actually end up being a decent option. And of course, right in front of here, we have a spot for a tank, which I will make of the medium variety and extract. Of course, we do need to have the bad water, which is down there. And I suppose... Well, it has space for it in the building itself, but I can put one of these in right there, let them take care of it, and just move on. How are we doing down here? Okay, they haven't done that yet, but they're in the process. That is fine. 22.4 days remain. Everything's looking good here. We do need to have more storage for pine resin, and since this area is currently polluted and will remain polluted for some time, I think that makes sense to just put it here. Berries don't have any storage. This lumberjack can probably move somewhere else. Yes, that's the problem, is I don't really know exactly what I can do. I think, you know what, it may actually make more sense, instead of messing with this, it may make more sense to just, you know, cut this tree down, which I do not want to be cutting those down, if I can help it. Don't need to have this or this on there either. Just pardon me while I take care of that. Yeah, I'm going to cut this down, which means I need to turn that on. And then I suppose, for lack of a better, well, anything. Actually, I've got the power of technology on my side. I can deepen this with what I can actually access. I should be able to do basically all of this without putting anything else in. I'm just going to blow it up so I can have a little bit more storage for water. Also kind of helps evaporation a tiny bit if it's not so jagged. I know it's like, well, that's kind of a stupid comment to make because you have so many other things. But look, little baby steps, one at a time. Regardless, once that is taken care of, I'm going to put in platforms here. Or maybe I'll just have this come out this side. Yeah, because then I can connect, well, it made sense in my head. So, you know, just let it be what it's going to be. Do I want to put in a huge warehouse for this? I don't think I'm going to need 1,200 pine resin. But I do need more than 110 storage spread across one building and 2 storages. So I think I can justify putting a medium warehouse for this stuff right here. So we'll let them do what they got to do. Come back to that at some point. I haven't forgotten about the increase in population, or beaver storage rather. Let's also not forget, we're currently building this thing, which takes a lot of resources. It does have all of the explosives. We are not halfway there on the metal, which I probably should have a separate metal refinery smelter thing going, but I don't really have anywhere to put that right now. Gears, you know, it's fine. I'm just going to let them take care of this, even though we don't need it right now. We're going to be really glad we had it when we have the first drought with that thing built, so we might as well just get it done as fast as possible. Looks like they are not going to this yet because they're probably still focusing on getting this built. And that seems to be working fine. They're doing their bits and pieces here and there. This guy cutting these down is fine. I do want to make sure these are replanted as pines, if I can at all help it. You know what? This would be a good opportunity to blow that up. Give us another tile to work with here. And then I suppose I just need to keep a watch on all of this stuff. Yeah, they haven't gotten to any of this yet. Which probably has something to do with, you know, the 13 vacancies. Got 3 injuries. That is regrettable, but also fine because I have 3 beds. Am I using treated... Oh, I don't have my goods monitoring mod. What is going on with my treated planks? If I'm only building spiral stairs with these things, I actually don't need this to be operating, so I'm going to pause that. Explosive storage is full. Pause that. It also helps reduce the injuries that are happening. And the -10, I think, is probably okay for now. I probably want this to be... No, if that's already minimum priority, that's fine. Okay, they're working on this. That's working out okay. Okay, that's... No, that's the wrong button. Good job. That's working out. Yeah, I don't really have much else I can get rid of here. Although it is very funny how slowly this is going. Do I accidentally have somebody else working in a job they shouldn't be working? I guess I can just check. Bad water pump is kind of important, but I'm not using any right now. So I can pause that. So that'll work. These are all paused, which is good. I do have the 4 builders there. That's paused. Farmhouse 1 paused. That's fine. Fermenters are fine. Fluid dump is not yet finished. I do not need both of these operating at the same time. That is definitely not necessary. Okay, foresters. I got 5, really? Okay, well, this is a weird shaped map. Gather flags are gathering. That's kind of important. Gear workshops are gear workshopping. The hauling post has 9 out of 10. Probably don't need that. I'm going to cut this down to 8. That's fine. Lumber mill, I do need to have one of those. Lumberjack flags, except the one. I maybe don't need all 4 of these. Scavenger flag, I think I can justify pausing this one to try and force them to only rely on the stuff up here. But honestly, the real reason why I'd be pausing this right now is to try and get beavers and other jobs, not because I don't want metal from down here. Okay, so this is actually going to be beneficial to have this dumping because now it's not No, it's not all connected in here. But I can also just do this. I can blast this out and get this connected so they can share, and that'll be fine. Okay, what's happening up here? Absolutely nothing, because they're still focused on this. So I'm going to deprioritize the bad water discharge. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they were focusing on that, but you know how it goes. So they should be able to now. Yes, it did take me 15 minutes to figure out that that's what I'd done. They should be able to get to this, except you know what, now I kind of no longer want to wait because we have other things we need to do, and I know you want to see some sort of progress, so I'll have them start working on that. I'm kind of surprised they were actually able to build all this. And this one also. So maybe I had miscalculated the amount of distance. Maybe it's alright. I think they can build this technically from above. They can. That's why that shows up, but they're not going to be able to access the building without this spiral staircase and then eventually the regular thing being taken care of. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, that is an actual tree for the record. Okay, and this over here needs to be replanted as pines, but I don't have anybody in there yet. Let's fix that, because I know I can do it. That's fine, they'll worry about that later. They've made some good progress here getting some of the ruins out, that's good. We will of course have to give them a staircase to get up to here, which I don't think will be a problem. Just make that nice and easy. And then I do want to probably blast this down because this isn't really serving any purpose, and if this were flat I could put a lot of storage over here. And the centrally located, you know, that's a good thing to strive for. Okay, so that's done. Obviously this can't be accessed until the path fully connects, which is not happening right now. Let's get that out of here. Make sure that these get constructed, but overall I just need that to be done. Okay, now this comes through here. I can put the stairs there, and then I can, wait a minute. I made a mistake. Can I remove? No, I cannot. Okay. Well, I do have to have the power shaft here, and I have to have this here, but that means I have to path over this to get through it because of the connections I have to make. Okay. Well, I can't really go through here. We already know that's not a thing, so this is going to result in me building a spiral staircase here, followed by a different staircase here, followed by a platform here, followed by that there, followed by, stop it, followed by the staircase being removed, and that staircase being removed, and then finally, there we go. So, that is a mess. That is a veritable disaster of architectural nonsense right there. But that's okay. We're just going to let it be what it needs to be. Now I got 5 injured beavers, so it's definitely time for some more medical beds. I'll put a couple more over here. Let's make sure those get prioritized because sick, injured beavers, whatever, cannot actually work, and we want those to be healed as fast as possible. This needs to be replanted expeditiously. Let's get that taken care of. This is going to dry up at some point, maybe soon, so let's turn that back on. How are we looking here? Okay, so this water dump has actually done a lot of good. Even if this isn't all connected, it has overflowed back over here, so that's keeping things irrigated. We're down to 3,300 water. We got 15 days left. I think we're going to be okay. We have been dumping a lot of the water just into the ground. And we can obviously keep the beavers alive. Without doing that, I just wanted to make sure this wasn't a complete disaster, so I will pause this, try to limit our losses here. Blueberries spread here, for those of you keeping track. That's fine. We are making some nice progress. Otherwise, They are building this from this side here. They can't get into here until I put in probably a scavenger flag here would be okay. I just have to be able to funnel beavers into that as a job. As soon as these all get planted. Don't tell me... Oh, that's still dead from before. That's fine. There we go. I'll fix that. Yeah, that should be alright. This is... this isn't technically dry, but it's effectively dry. That's okay. Farming-wise, things are looking good. We got 500 corn rations. I'll tell you what. I'm going to get one of these beavers back. Save them on that. I don't have mushrooms currently, and I've got 164 there, so I'm going to get that beaver back. I think we're doing okay on this. Okay, this has not been done yet, so let's do that. What's our progress on this, just out of curiosity? Okay, that's actually looking pretty good. That should be done before the end of the bad tide. This, I'm hoping... Well, this is going to be the first one because this is the closest one. There's nothing else I can do about that. But this has been built. It does not have power, obviously, so it, can't do anything. But getting this in place should, in theory, be okay. We need storage for gears. I probably did lose some gears on the ground. I know somebody left a comment about that, but where am I going to put... See, that's what all this boils down to. Is I just don't have decent places to put anything. Okay, these stairs need planks. All my planks have been turned into all sorts of other stuff. In theory, I could boot up another one of these lumber mills, but I do need to make sure I'm making gears at a breakneck pace, at least for the time being. Okay, so this is powered now. They just can't get to it. Okay. Well, that problem will be solved in due time. Just have to wait. I think I have to turn on another one of these industrial lumber mills. That should be probably a big priority. Okay, this has been replanted enough. Oh, I technically missed a couple of trees on the edge, so let's take care of that. And then I'm going to pause this guy so I can get the labor back. That's full enough for me to pause. These up here are going to dry out at some point, but not right now. Ooh, it looks like I've got my explosives here. I cannot press G for Gotta Blast, unless I want to open up the Workplace tab. So I will be forced to press G6. I am not flying anywhere, but... There you go. So, we've increased our water storage capacity, technically. This is set here. That's set there. I guess I could just get this preemptively loaded in. Now I could, depending on how I wanted to, do this, I could actually kind of stagger these here. Or I could put this on this side, or I could move this. I'm just going to do this right here. I think that's going to be okay. So this will be pine resin storage. We are definitely going to want to have a lot of this before we really get into mass manufacturing the treated planks. But for right now, it's fine. How's it looking here? Good, 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 good. This will be operating soon. We will have extract being made. And then, folks, we have 4,800 science, which means doing the tunnel is not going to be a problem. And the dirt excavator also not going to be a problem. That's 4,000 science right there, and then, of course, the terrain is another 1,000. The problem now is, where do I put a dirt excavator? And I gotta tell you, I don't have a lot of great ideas, short of just finding some way of doing it in here. And it's probably going to have to be powered by an independent engine, just because, how else am I going to do it? How else am I going to be able to do it? Now, the height concerns here. If I were to put this... Yeah, see, that doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. It would fit... Yeah, okay, maybe not. Yeah, that absolutely will not fit there. Not a lot of good options. I'd have to get rid of a bunch of stuff over here. Might be the only real way. Now, before you suggest, oh, just put it on top here, well, it still has to have dirt to get to. So it will stop working as soon as it mines out this dirt because there are trees in the way. If there was nothing in the way, like, you know, at the bottom of this reservoir over here, then yeah, it can go forever. But it still has to be sitting on something. And it has to have vertical clearance, which it might fit here. Maybe? But it's going to be flooded a lot of the time, and that is probably not something we want to mess with. However, I'm going to entertain the idea. I think a building is only flooded if the entrance or the doorway is flooded, and this happens to be above. So I'm going to... Do I have enough time in this episode to do this? Yeah, who cares? Let's do that. This is going to be either an absolute triumph or something that's going to cause a lot of people to be irritated with me, but that is not something I am unused to. This cannot fit here. This will flood during a temperate cycle. I don't know that I can put this on top of a platform. I cannot. So... Now, I could do this. I could easily do this. And that will not flood where it is. Or I could potentially put maybe... Yeah, you know, I could put this here, which is not really a great place for it to go. But it would technically work. I think for what we're doing right now, it is very unlikely that this will be finished in the next 9 days. So much so that I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal for me to just put an engine here. Which I could actually just do that. It's not going to be that big of a deal for me to put an engine there, because chances are we're going to have another short temperate cycle. Short, relatively speaking. Long, I guess, for hard mode. But this is going to be not flooded, and this is my understanding of the flooding mechanics, at least. Can never be flooded. So this can operate probably 90% of the time, even if it is flooded during the temperate cycle in the beginning of a drought or bad tide. But this will eventually be low enough for that not to be a concern. All this to say, I really don't think it matters. And this is the only place I can think of to have it right now, and having it for part of the time is better than having it for none of the time, even if that part of the time we don't have it is because it's flooded and, oh, you can't do that. Well, it's fine. I'm willing to commit to the idea in service of a better future for the beavers. So, all that being said, yes, here we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We're making extract. We're going to have some stored up. I do need to turn the wood workshop back on. And this is now drying out, and the corn is not a big crybaby like kohlrabi is. So, I do have to get somebody back in here. They haven't finished building the stairs yet, so you can go do something else. Try to get these things irrigated again. There we go. Just let them do what they gotta do. Progress on this. Very, very good looking. It is going to be great to have this not be something we have to worry about, so we're just going to let them continue doing that. This is being dealt with. That is looking okay. This is looking okay. The lumberjack is able to jack effectively. That's looking good. I don't think I need to have a beaver in this forester. I do think I need to have a beaver in this forester. But I want to make sure that we can take care of everything we need to take care of. Down to 2,500 water-ish, 2,600. We got 7 days. It's going to be fine. We are technically still dumping, but that is necessary to keep crops alive, so I'm not going to feel bad about that. But this isn't going to evaporate in 7 days, so I'm going to pause that. Still have 4 beavers in the hauling post. That is fine. Extract-wise, we are up to 20-something. Okay, yeah, that feels good. Tell you what, let's go ahead and do. So let's come down to... Where's going to be the best way for me to do this? Because I know it's going to be contaminated on the ground until about here. Okay, that doesn't actually support much of anything. I'm going to say, let's get the tunnel done, because I know I can do these right now. I think I'm going to play the game. Oh, that's drying out. Yeah, okay, they're going to be fine. Still working on that. This needs 100 trees. I need to stop getting distracted in the middle of telling you what I'm going to do is what I need to do. And, anyway, suffice to say, the actual support from up here... It's not going to be contaminated. I think I can justify putting in, if I do this correctly. I want to try and preserve as much of this farmable space as I can. So I'm going to do a tunnel here. And then I'm going to take out the supports, because it can do that, and put in a barrier there. And then I want to basically tunnel all of this out, because I know I can support everything with at least these three in the back without having any problems. But I do have to be able to get rid of some of this stuff. And I don't necessarily want to, or can afford to, get rid of so many planks at one time. But once we stop building this, we'll get some of those back. I don't think that's going to be a huge problem. Just trying to do this one step at a time, folks. You know how it goes. Okay, they're working on that. That is looking okay. I probably should, before the end of this, get into row houses, because I did keep saying that I was going to do it, and I haven't done it yet. Here's metal blocks. Still 11 down on the metal blocks. They're still working on that. That's fine. But having the extract is huge. Okay, that's... Oh, okay, they're splitting the gears in the metal blocks 50-50 between that and the discharge. Alright, well, not splitting 50-50 because this is deprioritized. Let's reprioritize. Because I know I'm going to be able to take care of this pretty quickly, and then we won't have to worry about it. Yeah, remember when I said I wasn't going to be able to get through the bad tide? Now there's only 5 days left, and we're 48 minutes into the video. Yeah, good times. I should speed up the harvesting of the trees. Do I have any... No, they're all working. That's fine. Oh, these aren't actually reachable by anybody who's cutting anything, are they? I don't think they are. Well, I don't exactly have a ton of extra beavers. So, I guess I should probably put another one of these in here. Maybe not right there. But also, where else am I going to do it? Here... That fits everything I can actually access. That would be a decent spot for it. Okay, so now these are drying out. They got 8 days. This will be fine by then. Is this finished yet? Almost. We're at 92%. 92%. Just have to wait for that to get taken care of in the morning. That'll be fine. And yeah, I need more beavers, and I know the well-being thing is just constantly discussed. It's I mean, good luck fitting this stuff anywhere. Let me just tell you. We've been using all of the metal, so that's why I have not ended up putting any of this in. We'll get there. We'll get there. We do actually have the science to unlock it. Okay, that's taken care of. Now I can actually get some stuff done here. That's 12 planks. I don't really have extra planks, but I do have... Well, I don't have metal to burn. Well, also, good luck burning it, but that's beside the point. I need to find a place. We do have some of the stuff in various places, but I need to find a place to stick one of these. Yes, that doesn't fit there. That does fit there, but, you know, ideally you want to cover all of your housing, but that is easier said than done. It always is. What can I do? See, that's there. Am I going to have the clearance if I do this? I will. Okay. So putting that there with a beaver bust is going to give coverage to all of those guys and anybody on the bottom and the top up here. So this is a good place to put it. I probably can put others somewhere else if I felt so inclined. This is a 3-tile radius, so putting this right in front of here. That is 20 metal, though. Well, it's fine. I'm just going to do that one because, again, it covers both of these, the down and the up of very popular spaces. So, it'll help. I also, you know, I don't really agree that much with nutrition being a bad source of well-being because it's objectively one of the easier ones to do. On this map, no. Because we can't really grow everything. At least not yet. But well-placed aesthetic stuff would definitely be a big help. As would the detailer, which, might I remind you, that's not a detailer. There we go. Runs on, well, it has to have extract. But we have everything else we need to be able to do this. And considering what else I have and have not unlocked, I think I can justify spending the 1,000 science on this and then finding somewhere I can put one of these things. It doesn't have to be in a super convenient location, it just has to exist. Actually, right here would probably be a good spot once these 6 pieces are removed. And I think that's what I'll do, because I can just get rid of the scavenger flag here. I could just go ahead and move it now, but I don't want to. Just let them grab this last 2, and then that can be all she wrote. We are starting to run low on the scrap metal, so I know I could turn these other things back on, but this one here absolutely must go. Let's hit pause, just so I can, you know, do this a little bit faster. These turkeys don't have the clearance here. Okay, well, that's fine. Just cram that in there. Of course, we have options. We have Gary or my face. We'll do that one first. That's going to take care of that. I've got somewhere, there it is, scavenger flag there to get that taken care of. And up here, I finally do have these stairs. So now I've got to find that labor again. Which, since that's taken care of, now, see, that's dry, but we're about to have... I don't think I need to worry about it. This is... got all the metal. Almost has all the gears, and I do have almost that many in storage. That's okay. This cannot be... Oh, they've been building this from above the whole time. Of course, we're waiting there. So, you know, I really can't afford to pause much. But I'm about to... Oh, look at this. Vine resin's filling up. I'm about to have to take care of all of this stuff. I don't have any more bad water left because I had that paused. I've got a decent amount of extract. I'll tell you what. Yeah, see, that's the problem with the smaller populations. I'm going to pause this because, well, I'm not producing the raw materials that it requires. And it gets us to -8, but we're going to have to pump here in a little bit. I'm almost to the point where I can justify shutting off the extra... not dirt excavators, the extra gear workshops. So, there we go, we're at 100. So that means I can now safely pause, leave that alone. I don't know that I need 2 lumber mills because I've got 50 planks, and this guy only consumes 1 plank every 3 hours, and this makes 1 plank every 2/3 of 1 hour. So I'm going to pause this, get some beavers back, get these guys in here. It is about to be cycle 8. Okay. Now I've got to get this set up. And yes, the construction site over here is going to flood. That is something that we knew was going to happen. We did discuss that. So, and that's okay because it's not ready to use. We don't have to worry about that quite yet. We're forward thinking with this. Except now they have stairs there, so... Yeah, it's going to throw some notices out as like, oh, it's flooded. You know, just ignore it. It's okay. Okay, clean water coming through here is going to nourish those things. I've got... Now I'm down 5. I've got tons of food. In fact, I'm going to pause the fermenter. I know that's probably not going to be a super popular thing, but I do need to get these guys in pumps. And having it paused for a couple days. Plus, you know, you guys can remind me to unpause it. That's always an option. That is paused. This is not paused, but it's also not dry. I need to make sure I've got manpower pumping here. The wood workshop really does need to keep going. Smelter, not necessarily. Okay, this hasn't started yet. Okay, that always floods, but it solves itself. It's gonna be okay. There we go. I'm gonna prioritize this just so we can have this in place before we have possibly another bad tide. Even though this isn't a super important construction project, I know I'm gonna forget if I don't do it. So while we're waiting on that, I am going to take a look at my notes here. I believe we've discussed or done everything that I needed to get taken care of or consider taking care of. I know the concerns about storage are definitely valid, and I am going to work to solve those, but that is going to just take some time. This getting planted can probably be paused safely in favor of getting people pumping. Just going to let them finish this. I know these are only birch trees, so it really doesn't matter that much, but I do want to make sure that I'm being as thorough as I can. And it's still only day one. Alright, so you're done. This does need to get replanted, so I will turn that one back on because, this is tremendous tree density happening here. Anything else I can pause? Anything else? So down 11. I can pause that lumberjack flag. That has nothing to do. The rest of them do have stuff to do, but I'm not really burning through logs at tremendously high rates of speed, so I do think I will pause that. How's our statues and stuff? Oh, they haven't even started. Oh, man. Okay, I'll tell you what, just because I want to see that number go up before we're done, and to appease those of you who really want to see the well-being improve, I will prioritize these. We do have the metal necessary to build both of these, so don't worry, that's going to happen. This seems to be okay. I probably should replace this with levees down below, but honestly, that's not that big of a concern. That's on the eventually list. Is this actually marked for cutting? It is. I just don't have anybody cutting. That's fine. Yep. Got too many beavers that need to do things and not enough beavers to actually do things. Oh, that's down to 3. We don't want that. What else can I pause that's actually going to be viable to pause? I do need to keep getting scrap metal. That's something we do not want to mess up. Yeah, see, I want him to plant these trees, but I really could use this beaver not being in here. I suppose we can do another check on the workplaces. We don't have that many of them. It shouldn't be a big deal. I only have these 2 paused, but I probably should be pumping from them. No, that's 80. Really? That's 80% done? That's actually really surprising. I did not think the treated planks were going to come in that fast. Well, that's good, I guess. Farmhouse, I should leave one of those going. Fermenters are paused. I have to remember the fermenters are all paused, or else bad things are going to happen in half a cycle. Fluid dumps are paused. Those will need to be unpaused at some point, but for right now, that's fine. Foresters are replanting. Ideally, we leave that alone. I'm going to pause the... Okay, I need to... Speaking of, I need to turn these back on immediately. I'm going to pause the gatherer flags because those are objectively not that important right now. Gear workshop, I need to have one of those going. That's nobody in the hauling post, huh? Okay, industrial lumber mill, I just have the one. Hydroponic garden, I need to keep going. Lumberjacks, I'll just pause all those. Scavenger flags. I don't need... Well, I do need the scrap metal, but I don't need the beavers working there right now. Smelter I need to probably keep going, but I can't keep that going unless I have a supply of scrap metal. Tapper Shack is probably a safe thing to pause because I've got a decent amount there. Alright, so now we're down to 9 vacancies, and I've got 3 guys in here. I guess that's okay. I mean, once these are refilled, I can definitely pause that and be okay, be in a decent position to get away with that. I still have not built any storage for gears, so I absolutely need to before this episode is done, because I did say that I would do that. I want to make sure this gets re-irrigated first. There we go. Just need to get that filled up enough. Where, oh where, can I put the gear storage? Survey says, don't know. Well, I mean, I hate to just take up this little space here, but I think, honestly, this is probably the best I can do for right now. It's not permanent, but it is, you know, it is going to be a thing that will help us. I also, I really need to have somebody pumping bad water. I cannot not have bad water now that I have all these other things that are going to require it. Did they build? No, they did not, because they got too much going on and not enough ability to build it. All right. Is this full? It is full enough. That could be paused. Is this full? It is full enough. All right. Now I'm down to 6 vacancies. I got 6 beavers in the hauling post. Obviously, nobody here. Day 3. We're done planting. Go do something else. No, now it says 7. Now, well-being's up to 16 now, which should help. 17, which is a new high score. Very good. That is both of these, I think. Yeah, both of those are done doing their thing. So that does help. I've been informed that the system has been changed to where they get the work bonus speed differently. I don't know if that's real or not, because I'm still seeing a 5 point difference there, being the delineator. But it's getting the plus 60% for 15, which, you know, is better than he was getting before. So I guess it doesn't matter. It all ends up being the same. And that is still not... These are done, though, which is good. We have storage for gears. I did say I was going to build storage for gears, and I have built storage for gears. We have storage for logs, we have storage for planks, storage for gears, we have storage for pine resin. We have a lot of storage for scrap metal, which we probably don't need. I'm going to turn one of these into regular metal storage, just so we don't have to worry about that later. So now we have 200 for that, we have 400 for that. That seems more than adequate. We do technically have storage for explosives, we have storage for extract, we have storage for all of these things. Probably could use more berry storage, but honestly, I think we're okay. And I'm going to have to just leave this alone as it is now, let them continue building. Try to get this detailer going. What are they building that is not the detailer? Because I hope it's not... Okay, well. That's fine. I'm just going to maximum deprioritize this. I mean, I can't really complain. I told them to do this. But remember, this is going to be flooded for at least some amount of time. So, that's okay. That's okay. So now they're working on this. The treated planks... Oh, yeah, they were being diverted to the thing. Okay. Well, I'm glad I have this going still. We'll just say that. It's going to take them a little bit of time to get those other 4 in. But it should be up and running before the end of this episode. It is... day 4. So we are either going to get a drought or a bad tide warning on day 5, or we'll see it on day 6, and that means we'll have a full temperate cycle. Looks like we're getting the full temperate cycle, which, hey, I'm not going to complain about in the slightest. Gives us a little bit more time to pump and think about what else we need to be doing. Yeah, and I guess I should just end the episode on that, so we'll let this continue for a little bit. We've got 2 more treated planks in the process of doing those, so this should be operative very, very soon. And that'll be good, because that should be a nice, what is it, a +1 or +2? I don't remember. Maybe it's more than a +2. But it's operating. We just have to have extract brought in, which I guess that is what the haulers are for. And we're only down 6 jobs, which really isn't any. This, okay, that's that thing. And then I only have 16 treated planks to go in here. So, 15. So this is going to be operable before the water drains enough for it to actually be possible to power it with the steam engine. Oh, this isn't connected by paths. Let's fix that. Okay, so we have a bad tide coming in. That is fine. That's going to allow us to have the power over there. And now it just isn't working because it's flooded. That's okay. I don't know if they're going to bring anything in while it's flooded, but it never hurts to get that checked for your engines. And do I see beavers walking around with my stupid face on their tails? Maybe not quite yet, but we will very... Oh, no, there's a couple. Yeah. There you go. I can't agree with your taste, but I am the one that told you to do it, so I guess I can't get mad. Alright, that is fine and dandy. Let's check here. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a +1, but that's fine. Scratchers, we could very easily put a swimming pool somewhere. In fact, I probably should have done that. Yeah, you know what? It actually would have fit really well in here. Oh, well, we can work on that at some point. It may be... No. I won't worry about it. 87. Yeah, that's going to be a next episode thing for sure. But we are making such good progress on the rest of this. I'm feeling great about it. Let's come down here. Good. Get that out of here. Get that in here. Yes. Get that irrigation barrier in place, because now I can actually... I have the materials. I have the technology. I can blast all this out and then get a little bit more space and not have to worry about quite so many things being contaminated. And I can also do this, which, oh boy, I am so excited for. I love it when a plan comes together. Now, this isn't going to be done by the time that the episode ends, but it will be placed in motion, and it will be done at the time that is prescribed to it. So, that is looking good. We're pumping, and it's a bad tide, so I really don't need to be worried about this for the time being. We really should soon try to do something about increasing the pumping capacity. And since this is another bad tide, it's very likely this could be 26, 27, 28, 29 days again. And we had enough water to survive. We were absolutely totally fine. But that's not going to remain the case forever, because you know how these things operate. So let's get these things filled up here. We have 1.2 days remaining. Is there any other job I can justify pausing? I'm gonna say... Ah, man, I'm so anxious to get this done, but I feel like for the benefit of all of the beavers, I can justify pausing all of this for the last day. Try to get these guys in as many places as possible to get this finished. Especially builders. Yeah, so here we go. I probably didn't need to have them focused on that instead, but 0.6 days. There we go. Come in here and do that. I got 4,100 water. That's fine. Then we don't have to worry about the floodgates until it's like the very, very end. I'm really curious, though, if they're going to be able to actually get this taken care of. Treated planks are going to be a problem. Especially because I am now completely out of them. I played myself. This is it's not going to get done. Oh well. Live and learn. And we can patiently wait to do our excavation until we've most likely pumped all of this. I'm going to leave these pumps running. I think that is fine. Oh boy, who doesn't love a nice long Beavers episode? Alright, now it's time to hit pause and do this. Let's let this be what it's going to be. Fill those things up. I see a little bit of overflow. Now I've got just a tiny bit of time. Let's hit that. Let's hit pause on these pumps before we unpause. Hit pause on those. And very importantly, hit pause on these. Because otherwise we're going to be completely out. But we'll leave those going. And now we're about to find out just how long of a bad tide we are going to get, and then we'll say goodbye. So let's just get that set up there. 23 days! Okay, could definitely be a whole lot worse. But it is out of time. It is out of time. We are out of time. There we go. Use the correct pronouns. We are out of time for this episode. I really appreciate you guys watching these. I always appreciate your comments. Positive or constructive criticism, always welcome. You know, there's... Well, the expression "there's more than one way to skin a cat" is objectively grotesque, but you know, there's more than one way to play the Beaver game. So you're always welcome to submit your ideas or tell me you don't like the way I'm doing something. That's always fine. But I do always appreciate the support regardless of what form it comes in. And I do always want to acknowledge the beard boosters who make it possible to do these videos without having sponsors and without having to cut things down into 20-minute chunks. We can just do something like post a 70-minute episode of a series that isn't water beavers. And most people end up liking it. So I'm always going to be thankful for you. Have a great rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back again soon for more fun with this series and others as I'm able to get those in rotation. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.